Welcome to LAB51. Today is one of those days you've been waiting for. It is the day of the unboxing of the brand new Apple Vision Pro, which we have promised. This is the thing you probably have all been waiting for, the new Apple Vision Pro. It's a pretty hefty box, weighs quite a bit. So you can see Apple Vision Pro, it comes in 3 sizes. This is the smallest one for $3,500, goes up to $4,000. So let's do this step by step. Are you ready? All right, so here you see it. See here you have the protection. So the first thing you notice is there's some heft to the whole thing. It's very solidly built. See the knit band which they have been advertising for easy adjustment. This is the light sealed cushion. Now what you need to know about this is when you go to the Apple store, they will actually measure your head and customize it to your head. So this is customized to my head, supposedly. Curious about that. So that's the light seal, which you get in the box. This is, maybe surprisingly to many, this is the strap for over the head, similar to what you know from other devices like MetaQuest. Last but not least, what you need is power. So unlike other devices, the Apple Vision Pro comes with external power supply. This also has some heft to it with the connector for the actual device, USB-C power cable, and a 30 watts power brick. Now I'd say let's take a look at what the device actually does and then maybe also go into testing it. So you have here on the side the power clip. Just push it in and twist it. So it has powered on. It's asking me to press and hold to align. And as it's booting up, it also does the pass through. So now I actually see you again. Before it was closed, and now I see you on the outside as if I were present on the outside as well, with a nice hello, etc. So you have here the digital crown, as I mentioned. Let's press this one to begin. And now you need your iPhone or iPad to get started. Let me just take it off and then we'll discuss the device. So a couple of thoughts here, just from putting it on and unboxing. The whole thing has heft to it. It feels very premium. It's an elegant device. If you look at how it's made, you have the outside glass panel. You have an OLED display in it. And it's probably the most advanced display or device you find in this category. It has a bunch of cameras on the outside. It has different microphones. It has a ton of sensors. So for instance, it has a LiDAR in here, which many don't really know, but that's quite impressive for this price point. And what you also get in this package is one of the latest processors. It's M2 microprocessor, which is tremendously powerful. So while it seems on the surface quite expensive, you get basically a high-end computing device with displays which rival what you could have on multiple displays. And that considered, it's actually not that expensive. I'm quite impressed for a first generation product of what they've put out here. However, I'd like to run a very quick comparison because we're all saying, hey, there's Apple, etc. And those of you who know me, I'm by no means an Apple fanboy. I tend to be rather critical, although I had every single iPhone from the first generation up to iPhone 8. But I consider myself a convert to the Google ecosystem. Now, most of you will have had experience with VR devices, not by Apple, probably not by HTC, but probably the most sold device in the consumer category, which is this one, which is the Quest, Oculus Quest, or now MetaQuest 2. Now, no, it's not fair by any means to compare those two devices because they sit on two vastly different ends of the spectrum. This one retails for about $250, $300. This one, $3,500. So there's a world of money in between these two devices. However, the interesting thing is, since this is your first, most likely your first experience with such a device, it is actually quite capable. This one also has 4K. This one is 4K. And in terms of hertz refresh rate, this goes up to 90 hertz. This one goes up to 90 hertz. So unlike what it seems, in many ways they're more similar than they're not. And that's what in a certain way blows me away when looking at those two devices. However, I have to say this. If you look at the build, if you look at that it has inside cameras, outside cameras, LiDAR, etc., and the capability of the device, this is in a certain way showing the future, not the present. The Oculus is great if you're playing games, etc. If you want a VR experience, fantastic. If you want a better one, take the Quest 3. It's amazing because it has, in many ways, specs which rival the Apple device. However, in terms of resolution, in terms of fidelity, in terms of sound experience, you have these microphones which are shooting downward towards your ear, amazing sound and spatial experience. If you look at the precision and the speed, or the latency of the outside pass-through to the inside display, it's unrivaled. So for instance, if I wear this, you can actually see my eyes. And that's not my real eyes, it's a representation of myself, which is basically displayed on the outside. So it seems as if you're really present, even though there's firm device in between, which is quite cool. So my first impression, this is pretty cool. And I'd say it's like with many things, the higher you go, the more expensive it gets. And you can say that in terms of DNA, these two share probably 80%, 90% of the same DNA. But you know what? If you look at humans and animals, well, 90% DNA gives us a mouse. Nobody would want to date a mouse. This is a person. Okay? Stay tuned. We'll go for more. Thanks a lot. This was LAB51, Apple Vision Pro unboxing.